Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald in Quincy at the Chaddock School, where this is really a special autumn here. After several years of planning, fundraising, they finally got the new school open. And Debbie Reed, who's the president and CEO of the Chaddock School, this is a special time because you all knew for years that you were going to need a new school and you needed to expand it because you have a growing number of students and you needed to upgrade your facilities, and it's finally happened, huh?
Absolutely. Certainly people that have been working on it for years, trying to get all the pieces put into place to make sure we knew what we wanted in the school, to raise money for it, and to respond to the continued growth in our school and needing to serve more and more kids. And that was really what pushed us forward. We didn't want to turn kids away that really needed the kind of specialized services we have here. So August was very exciting for us to be able to open the doors on our new school that we've been working on, actually the building process, for a little over a year.
Yeah. Well, you talked about the kids who need your special sort of instruction. A lot of people may not be familiar with Chaddock and the kind of children they serve. Let's talk about that a little bit.
We work with children and their families struggling with trauma and attachment disorders. And so there can be a lot of things that children experience early in their lives that impacts their ability to be able to form relationships. And so we, using the latest brain science and a lot of research and expertise, are able to help kids really create new pathways in their brain so they can form relationships. Here in school, all of our kids have special ed diagnosis. Many of them have emotional challenges because of what they've experienced in their lives. And so our teachers and our staff are all specially trained to really be able to provide education in a way that our kids can maximize their potential.
These children, they age from 6 to what, high school age children?
We can have 6 through 21 in our school.
21.
If a child has a special ed diagnosis, they can have up to the age of 21 to get their high school diploma. And so we have grade school, junior high, and high school classrooms all in the same building.
Now these kids may have experienced, or probably did experience, some kind of deprivation or some kind of an abuse as a youngster. And their behavioral issues come from them masking that and not being able to make attachments with family and other loved ones, people that are trying to help them.
You know, our kids have had some rough beginnings in their life, and so oftentimes the behavior is a symptom of what's going on underneath. And so absolutely we work with the kids to learn to manage their behaviors, but also to deal with the things going on in their lives that are driving those behaviors. And it's that combination of the two that gives our kids the best chance at educational success and really success in life.
This is a big facility.
It is.
40,000 square feet, I think you told me.
Absolutely.
An $11 million project. And this is quite an addition because you actually have to add staff as well. So it's a big deal for Quincy, isn't it?
Absolutely. We have continued to grow the staff that are working with the kids and families. And as long as we can serve more kids, we'll keep adding staff as long as the need is there.
This gives you technological advancements you didn't have before, scientific, things that you just didn't have in an old school. So when we go in, you can, or can we go in and you can show us around?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're thrilled to show you.
Let's do it. Well, Jerry Douglas, Debbie Reed just handed me off to you because you're the principal of the school and you're the director of education here. What's it feel like to have a brand new facility?
It's overwhelming. When I think about this building and the old facility we were in, it's like leaving the earth and going to the moon. It's hard to describe, but we have a facility that our staff love, our kids love, meets all of our needs, and on top of all that, it's brand new. So everything's new, the technology's new, the equipment's new, the furniture's new. It's really hard to put in words.
We're going to get the dime tour, of course, because in 30 minutes we can't do everything. But let's start by going in here, because this is an interesting history. The way you had to serve food was very interesting, because your facility wasn't big enough to have a kitchen and a cafeteria,
That's
right?
correct.
So what happened?
Well, we have a green cart with 4 wheels on it, 2 levels, metal cart, that carted food some years 3 times a day, 365 days a year. from one of our buildings, our main administration building, probably half a football field to the school. So food had to be cooked, then it had to be packed, then it had to be loaded, and it was loaded from a loading dock, down from a loading dock in the kitchen, down to the cart, then it was carted over, and our staff did that in rain, shine, sleet,
slush,
hail,
snow,
slush,
oh my God.
snow.
Well,
otherwise we didn't eat.
Right behind you, we see a nice big cafeteria, right? This is where
this
has plenty of room for everybody. They could all sit at one time, right? And then also over here, we can see, well, how handy is this? The kitchen's adjoining the facility. So, and a brand new kitchen to boot.
And brand new.
Yeah.
And just the normalcy of kids now coming in, they go through the line, food is hot, it's prepared. I think it's improved certainly the quality that the cooks are able to produce.
What a nightmare that would have been. And you could never get a hot meal. You could never get it over here hot.
No, it was always...
Okay, so now we go the other way, and if we go through the lobby and then into this wing, this is the high school wing, is that right?
Yes, so this is the high school wing and level. Our library is part of that, which is pretty incredible. But at the end of this quarter, we have our 5 high school classrooms. We have about 50 kids in our high school. And so they rotate from class to class throughout the day.
50? That's a big school. Yeah. Okay, so and these are just high school classrooms.
These are high school
I
classrooms.
imagine they're all about the same, so we don't really need to see inside. They look like a classroom, like any other classroom on the inside. This is an interesting room.
And this is very interesting. We wanted to have a place where kids would have an opportunity to spend some time where it's quieter. I kind of call it, it's our Debbie's Reading Nook. Actually, our CEO and her family are the ones who sponsored it. And actually, the picture is a picture that she took in Ireland while on vacation.
Debbie Reed?
Yes.
Okay.
So it makes this a very, very special area.
And some kids have to call, some kids in that go to your school have to call timeout on themselves sometimes. Because they know, they can feel some bad behavior coming on.
Absolutely.
And is that what this is what?
Well, actually, this is for them when they're going to do school work. So it's going to be a quiet place to read. Sometimes we'll take a class in there, but it's more a quiet place to do work.
See.
Now, around the corner, we have 2 places where they can go for timeouts.
Okay. Well, let's take a
look at those.
Let's walk that way. Yeah. So you have 50 high school students. If we imagine this same space upstairs, that's the elementary school.
Correct. And middle school.
And middle school. Okay.
So here's our timeout rooms.
Oh, these are timeout rooms. Okay.
Yes.
Separation room. That's what it says.
Right.
Okay. So
separation room. And I'll give you a quick picture. And my lights out here. So these are just spaces. We actually removed the desk. Someone turn the lights down on it.
There we go.
So we actually have the desk sitting in the hallway, and this is a timeout space where kids will just come to kind of be away, get themselves regrouped, and then we'll come talk with them, see what's really bothering them, what's going to help them move along.
Yeah.
So that's our separation timeout space.
Okay, gotcha. Very good. And then up the hallway, and then you have these other rooms that you call sensory rooms.
Correct.
And that's another thing that you wouldn't find in a normal high school because your kids here have some special needs, and when they have a behavioral issue, you have special facilities for them to be able to correct it.
And we use the sensory rooms to be able to help students when they are feeling dysregulated, anxious, overwhelmed. We use the sensory rooms to help them kind of reground themselves. One of my examples I use is when I'm driving and I'm in places where we're starting to climb and go up high, I get very anxious about that. So I usually roll down the windows, and the noise and the sounds.
That's your coping mechanism, huh?
Help ground me. Yes, absolutely. And so we have all these different equipment and apparatus in here that really help kids get back in touch with themselves. You know, if they're climbing, they're going to have to focus. They're going to have to use their big muscles, their strength and skills. Sometimes they're climbing on this and they'll fall on the mat. and just that
So
falling.
this is not just for bouncing, but it's also for safety as well,
Yes,
huh? Okay.
absolutely. So they'll fall back on the mat purposely, and again, it will help strike up that connection between, okay, I'm back.
How would this be therapeutic for a child?
And the swing, two things. One, there's a swinging motion to it that allows kids, again, if you go to parks, you'll see little kids, especially babies, that love to swing.
Sure.
Or in strollers, and so that rocking motion is very calming, very settling. But then in some cases, this is almost like a cocoon. So for some of the kids, they feel that security of being wrapped up.
Ah, okay.
And so that's a part of that as well.
Is that sort of what the tent is about too?
The tent's a little security, closure, and they will get in there. And then they also use lights in there. And it's interesting that the lights, so we'll turn the lights out, and they've got this kind of psychotropic light that shines in there. And it's very comforting and grounding.
Settles them. Okay.
And if you notice through the school, our colors and the lighting, they're all designed to be calming.
And this is another, you call it sensory room.
This is our other sensory room. A little different equipment in here, a little different kind of swing, some big muscle movements. Obviously, this is one of those apparatus that you have to sit and focus. We actually have some of these balls in our classrooms, except you don't have the back support. So you have to focus even more when you're on those. I think these are a little...
You're a brave man to do this in front of a camera, I'll tell you.
So these are really great tools for our kids.
And again, there's a swing and one that they can feel secure in.
Right.
It wraps around them.
Yep. So again, the whole swinging motion. This one's not as heavy as the other one. So they may feel a little lighter in that one.
Yeah.
So it's just, again, and we're going to continue to expand on this equipment. As we find this is going to help kids with their needs, we're going to bring that equipment in.
Yeah. Well, you have the space now to do it.
And yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's go down this way,
Okay.
because what you have here too is you have a facility to deal with if therapists come on or parents come, you can meet with the parents, teachers, therapists, those
Right.
kinds of things.
And we now have a very comfortable, open, welcoming space for our parents. And so we'll hold meetings back here. We'll hold IEP meetings with them. We hold staffings. When we're going to do trainings, this is where we'll bring people to start. We also have a couple conference rooms where we can meet here as well. So we have tutors. We have 2 office spaces for our tutors. We have a speech therapist who's here on a weekly basis. And then if we have other external service providers, such as OT, staff, counselors, therapists, this is a place where we can meet.
You are really equipped. How many students
We have
regularly?
90 students total.
90 students. Okay. Now, did they all use this facility, or some of them are in the public schools?
No, they'll all use this
90
facility.
here, and then you also have some that live here that maybe go to public school.
Right.
But this school is for 90 students.
Yes. Yep.
And that's more than you had before, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. 'Cause I think when you were here before, we were probably in the 70s, maybe 80s. And of course, this new building is built to allow us to expand. Our total capacity in this building is 130 students.
Oh, so you can go another 50% or so.
Yes. Yeah. So
Terrific.
so that was one of the reasons driving us really needing this additional space.
Well, thank you.
Yes, and
Very
probably this
interesting.
year we will probably top 100 this year.
John Wittenauer, you've been teaching science at Chaddock for how many years?
Well, since 1997. I've been at Chaddock for 32 years. So
32
did
years.
a few things prior to that.
Yeah. But science is your niche now, huh?
Yep.
That's what- And tell me how do the kids here, and we're in high school right now, right? We're in
Yes.
high school. How do they respond to science? I mean, science is a kind of people would describe that as being maybe one of the harder of the classes. Do they take well to it? I mean, do they enjoy it and take well to it?
Most of them do, yes. We do a lot of hands-on activities. We have book work, and then we do our do projects, keep them engaged, and that's
Yeah.
the primary focus, engagement. So
Yeah. And I know you mentioned life science. We don't do chemistry because you don't want to mix up a bunch of chemicals. But life science, you do. In fact, if I look over your right shoulder, I'm seeing a young man there that's got an iguana or some kind of what kind of lizard is that?
That's a bearded dragon.
A bearded dragon. Okay.
They all have names, so that's Delilah.
Delilah. Well, she's a beauty.
Yep.
She is a beauty.
She hangs right on their shoulders. The kids come in and they will do their work and they'll get the animals out. And while they're working, the animals are playing around on their laps, on their shoulders, or wherever.
Is that right? Okay, well, let's walk over to your specimen cabinet over here. Because this is, did you have one of these before in the old school?
No, I did
This
not.
is new, huh?
Yeah, this is all new. We work with Pet Supply Plus, and they came up with this and said, can we sell this to you? And basically they gave it to us.
And basically gave it to you. So yeah, you can sell it to us for nothing, right? You got live fish down here, and wherever possible, I guess you have some live specimens, huh?
Yeah, and of course we'll have some more coming in. This is brand new this year, so the biology class will be involved as well as the environmental class in helping fill up these tanks.
You said the environmental class. What is that? What is the environmental class about? What
Environmental science,
Yeah.
well, basically just learning about the earth and how to take care of it and what affects it. And we do a lot of interactions with our environment around us, so looking at the natural resources and that type of thing.
Is it possible to go out in the field? Do you ever go? You do?
We try to do as much as we can. We're limited during the school year to do a lot of field trips, but we try to do as many as we can.
Yeah. Yeah, and the kids go for that, I'll bet, don't they?
Oh, yeah, they like that a lot.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
fact, this next Friday we're going to do some geode hunting.
Okay. We got a rodent down here of some kind.
Yeah, you have Tom and Jerry.
Okay, those are rats, huh?
Those are rats.
Okay, all right, well.
Very friendly.
They probably like to come out, huh? Like to come out with the kids. And then, is this a gerbil over here?
This is a gerbil. That's our Snoops.
And Snoops will run the wheel for you once in a while?
Oh, at night, anyway.
At night,
They're all
when nobody's
nocturnal.
here, huh? They're all nocturnal. Well, listen, thank you very much. I think this is outstanding that you've got a facility here now where you can really sort of open up and try different things. Isn't that nice?
Yes, it is. Yeah, you can't beat the facilities we have now.
Yeah.
I asked for a sink. I got a 2-well sink, you know. And we've got other things that we need and plenty of storage space. So
They say, Mr. Wittenauer, you designed your classroom, and you went ahead and did it, huh?
Yeah.
That's great. That is great.
That's right.
Congratulations.
well, thank you.
All right, so the game just asked the students where Tom Sawyer hid when he arrived at Aunt Polly's house. And the students answered, waiting for one more answer. And it shows me that one student got it right
Okay.
and one student didn't.
Okay.
So I
we
know
have to improve on that.
Exactly.
We get 2 out of 2, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So is there another question queued up?
Yes.
Okay. Why are Aunt Polly, Sid, Mary, and Joe's mother sad?
And then they have their multiple choice. And everybody got it right. That's exactly what we wanted. Good job.
All right. So each of the kids, and in this case there's only 2, but sometimes you have many more than that in here,
Right.
have their own Chromebook.
Exactly.
And they can each have access to this kind of technology. You
Yes.
didn't have this before, did you?
No, we did not have this before. We had a board, but we didn't have a way for the kids to interact one-on-one. So everyone can be interacting. We can check for that understanding.
Interaction is really important, isn't it?
They're fully engaged.
Yeah,
They're
because
fully
what you want to do
engaged.
is you want everybody to participate if possible, right? And
Exactly.
with your children, they might be more inclined than other children not to participate, but this keeps them involved. huh?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's terrific. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Congratulations to the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Angel Kuzi, you're a proud parent, a proud
Yes.
Chaddock parent.
Yes,
And I didn't have to talk you into wanting to talk about Chaddock. You like it very much, don't you?
I do. I'm very thankful for Chaddock, and it's the least I can do to support the program.
And your son Will is a student here.
He is.
How
He
old is Will?
He's 12.
And how's he doing?
He's doing great.
Okay.
He's great. He's on his 3rd year here, and we've seen progress, and Chaddock supports the families as well as the students.
Come with me so we get a look at this
Okay.
brand new library. Will, you come too, okay? I want to, we're trying to show the whole
Oh,
new
sure.
building, so this is one way to
Absolutely.
do it. And you can see, they didn't have anywhere near this kind of space for the kids' activities and for books and for everything before. So this is just a wonderful thing.
It is nice.
Let's talk about Will's history a little bit,
Yes.
because he's the goal of students at Chaddock is to go back to public school or
It is.
private school, but not to stay at Chaddock the whole time. Yeah. And so tell me about Will's history.
Well, Will's history, he did attend a private parochial school for a few years, and then we were in the public schools, and we had enough challenges where Chaddock was the best fit. And it was honestly, I'm struggling for the word, without Chaddock, I don't know where we would be because of the support and what they can provide the children.
So he's made some advances, right?
A lot of advances.
He has a little longer to go. How do you foresee, like, if Will has a very successful stay here, how do you foresee his future going?
It will be very good, very good, much better than I anticipated. And the how they teach the children to work through challenges, to know that they're loved. They build a trust with the staff that's phenomenal, and it's a wonderful thing.
Will's 12.
He is 12.
He's in 7th grade, I think you told me? Yeah, 7th grade.
Yes.
Okay. And he's not reading at a 7th grade level. He's got to bring that up a little bit.
He does.
Yeah, well, he's
Yeah, you do. He's working on it.
He
He's
is.
working very hard.
Working hard on it.
And they know when to challenge the student and when to pull back to make sure they succeed. And a lot of that is confidence as well. And that goes hand in hand with the learning. And the staff is very well trained to help children with that.
I'm just thinking out loud, and I'm no professional at any of this, but I'm thinking if I'm a kid and I'm behind and I already have behavioral issues, that's going to make my behavior even worse, being behind. So the thing is to sort of meld all that together, where your school gets a little better, your behavior gets a little better, and pretty soon they meet. you know?
Yes, they do. And the sooner you realize that, the better. And that's where I'm fortunate that we're working on this with Chaddock. And that is true. And to let the children know that they are smart and they are gifted and they're just like every other person out there, and they are great people. So Chaddock does a great job with that.
Thank you. Good luck, Will. Well, Debbie, we're in the old school, and it really looks and feels different.
It does. Wow. I think it's hard to appreciate the impact of the new school unless you walk in what we've been working with, which we did the best we could with what we had, but certainly to have a space designed exactly for our kids is giving them a much better learning environment.
Yeah, you know, when we were with the science teacher, you know, I suggested to him, I'll bet you they said, you design your space and we'll add it in. And he says, yeah, that's pretty much the way it happens. So really the people that have the expertise and the experience, you asked them to go ahead and design it, and it all got put into the new school, didn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. We got lots of input from our teachers, from the folks that are working in the school, what spaces are going to work best. We use the latest in research on trauma-informed schools and how to meet our kids' needs, and certainly our new school is really designed around creating the best environment possible.
So you've increased your size somewhere 3 times or so in the new school. What's going to happen to this space?
This space is going to become the Knowledge Center at Chaddock. We do a lot of training and consultation. We've actually trained professionals from 5 continents on how to do the work that we're doing. But if they can be here and see it firsthand, our campus then becomes a learning lab for professionals from all around the world. And so we can really extend our mission reach by training others how to do the work that we're doing here on our campus.
And this building, even though it was built in the 50s, you will be able to redesign it for those purposes.
Absolutely. So we'll be able to have training room spaces with up-to-date technology and really make great use of our buildings. We have early 1900s buildings on our campus that we're still using. So this is actually not that old of a building in terms of what we're used to, and to be able to redesign it so that it can really help other professionals serve even more struggling kids really is what we're about here at Chaddock.
Well, Debbie Reed, thank you so much for allowing us to come in and take a look. It's been an eye-opener.
Thank you so much for coming and taking a look at the new school that we're very excited
Well,
about.
thank you, thank you. And as we stand here in this old school, which is going to be the training center, some walls are going to be knocked out, some redesign is going to be done, and hopefully within a year or two, but it's going to take some fundraising, and that's going to get underway post-haste. With another Ilinois story in Quincy, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you. For a DVD copy of the program you've just seen, send 1995 to Network Knowledge, P.O. Box 6248, Springfield, Illinois 62708. Be sure to include the program name, subject, and when the program aired. You can also order with your credit card by calling 800-232-3605.